Hello viewers, welcome back to yet another episode of Continuing Professional Development. I am Ashim, and today we are going to explore visual resources for our classrooms. Well, as teachers, when we present a particular idea or concept in the class, then a thought process starts in the mind of students. They try to visualize or they try to figure out how that object or thing or the place would look like. In this case, students develop a variety of concepts about a particular topic. The imagination lead them to various directions. But as teachers, we should be guiding them towards the correct direction. And for this, concepts, when they are aided with visuals, students capture the idea quickly and effectively. So, let us explore the world of visual resources for a teacher to become, to deliver a content effectively in the classroom with the help of visual aids. So let us explore what is a visual aid. Okay, so let us understand what is a visual aid. Visual aids are nothing but pictures, photographs, diagrams, charts, then infographics, which we call visual resources. And as teacher, we have used them quite a lot in our classes, teaching different subjects in the class, be it mathematics or science or geography or history, even languages. Across subjects, visuals play a very important role to deliver a lesson effectively in the class. These visuals engage a student completely in the classroom. Not only that, it also triggers critical thinking in them through visuals. As a teacher, while taking a class, we must use visuals more and more to make learning happen in the class. Well, research says when we learn through images, the retention is something between 60% to 80%, whereas learning through texts alone amounts to 20% retention. So we can very well understand that we as teachers, we always adopt a blended approach of text accompanied by images to make learning better in the class. So as the retention percentage suggests, that we should be using more and more visuals to deliver concepts and ideas in the classes so that learning is effective. So let us explore more about the roles that visuals play in education. The first point that I would like to discuss is enhancing understanding. Well, at times when we are in the class, taking class, trying to, expose the students to new terms, new terminologies, as well as new concepts, or about new place, or about new tradition or culture or event, we mostly describe that particular event or object or place. And students immediately, they start imagining about that place, about that event, or about that person. When visuals of that particular topic is displayed in the class, the student gets to know the real, the facts or the actual teaching that the teacher is trying to demonstrate in the class or express it in the class. Images help a child build a deeper concept, a deeper understanding about the subject or about the topic. So for enhancing understanding, visual resources play a very important role. As I said, retention is a very important criteria for a teacher when we teach in the class. The students are able to retain what is being taught to them, the knowledge that is imparted to them, because they will be tested across platforms. They will be tested again and again to establish a connect between what is being taught in the class and how much they could retain at the end of a class. So in order to improve retention of knowledge, visual resources are a very important, it's a tool that helps a child memorize, remember, things faster and for a longer time. Visual resources also engage learners very effectively in the class. While doing all the talking in the class, sometimes students lose attention. But when some images or visuals are displayed in the classroom, students immediately divert their attention to that particular visual. They try to explore that visual. They try to, pick information from that visual. And there it helps a teacher deliver that topic effectively. So for better engagement, use of visuals are, very important, and they go a long way in connecting, in establishing the learning process that takes place in the class through visuals. Visuals also help different types of learners in the class. As we know that in a class, we have a wide spectrum of, learners with different learning styles. And one such learning style is visual learning, the visual style. Display of visuals in the class help those particular type of learner who learn through visuals. So here, visuals are an effective way of communicating to students with different learning abilities or different learning styles. In order to make our classroom inclusive, use of different, teaching aids along with the chalkboard, it establishes the learning objective effectively in the class. Visuals also help a teacher, trigger that thought process in every child, which propel them to think critically and know or explore more about a subject or a topic. Say, for example, in a history class, for example, the teacher is talking about Red Fort in Delhi. So if a teacher does all the talking, then the student will somehow miss the connection between the real world and the description that has been provided in the class. Instead, if a teacher carries an image of Red Fort in the class, half of the problem will be solved immediately. Because by looking at the image of Red Fort, the student not only understand how does a Red Fort look like, but the student might also start thinking about its architecture, the way it is built, the way it is positioned, its various corners. So that particular thought process will automatically start in the mind of its child when the picture of Red Fort is displayed in the class. That it's not only making students aware of Red Fort, but also push the students to start thinking about that era when this was built, or the rulers who ruled from Red Fort. So all these can be triggered, all these can happen through visuals. Visuals also establish communication among the stakeholders. Through visuals, a child can communicate things which cannot be simply understood by description or describing the thing. But through images, that can be very easily established in the class. I'm talking about abstract ideas where visuals can really make things easy for us. So in order to communicate in the classroom, in order to communicate with the brains, in order to communicate with the intellect of a child, images are really very helpful for a teacher. Not only that, when we give projects, when we declare projects in the class and or assignments in the class, which demands, drawing something or, pasting pictures. So through this, we can connect the way a particular child thinks, his likings, his favorite, method. So all these can be communicated between a student and a teacher through images. Yes, when we show images in the class, we encounter different types of questions about the image. So from those questions, we can make out that which student is thinking in what line. What is going on in the mind of that particular student? And all this is possible due to the display of a simple image in the class instead of a text. Visual resources also help learners develop their creativity. We can, let's take a simple example like if a teacher gives a project on maybe photosynthesis in the class, or maybe the types of rocks in the class. And if the project is on, collecting pictures and pasting it on a notebook and labeling them appropriately, through this, we can generate that curiosity in the mind of a child, where he or she, that particular student, starts thinking differently, innovatively, and expresses himself or herself through the project, through the various visuals that is being gathered or accumulated by the student. Some would just take ready-made pictures and paste it. Some would prefer to draw. Some would prefer to paint and then level it. So through visual resources, we can also, make the students think creatively, innovatively, and complete their projects through this innovative way of doing things. Then moving on to the types of visual resources. As teachers, we always resort to various types of visual resources in the class. We carry charts, we carry, maps, we carry photographs. Sometimes we draw diagrams on the board. Particularly teaching in science or chemistry, we draw different apparatus. While teaching geography, we draw a rough map on the board, or we carry a map, a printed map in the classroom, and we ask the student to explore that particular map. Then we ask questions. So now let us understand what are the various types of visual resources. So the most effective and popular visual resource is an image. Now, images can be photographs, it can be illustrations, or it can be a digital art. Yes, viewers, teachers have really started using the digital aids to generate images which are appropriately presented in the classroom while teaching a particular subject or while transacting a particular lesson in the class. Teacher can customize images or visuals according to the requirement of his or her class, according to the different learning styles of the learners, and can generate pictures and carry them in the class, either in the form of in the digital format or a printout probably, and displayed in the class. So the next type of visual resources are classified as charts and graphs. Subjects like mathematics, subjects like science, subjects like geography, even teaching history, even teaching languages, we often use charts which depict facts and figures, which events are very easily communicated to the learners in the class through charts and graph. These are a very effective way of communicating a particular topic in the class, so that the sole intention is so that students retain this knowledge for a longer time, and it also engages them in the class, it develops interest in the class, and so on. Diagrams are widely used in subjects like mathematics, not only maths, in science, in geography, different diagrams are used. These diagrams are also very effective in establishing the link between the knowledge of a child and to the real life situations. These diagrams are a very effective visual resources for teachers across subjects. Then we got infographics. Visual representation, they are nothing but visual representations which combine data as well as information at the same time. So visuals which comprises data as well as information are called infographics. So through infographics, teacher can communicate to students in a very innovative way, in a very colorful way, in a very attractive way, which will very easily invite the attention of a child in the class towards that infographic. Remember, we are catering to the need of various learner and their learning styles. So, as a teacher, we should also adopt different techniques to communicate the same idea in the classroom in different formats, just to satisfy the various learning styles of a child. In the end, we will be discussing to develop infographics through digital tools, through FOSS tools, free and open softwares, which are easily available across digital platform, and we can use them to develop some interesting infographics for our children in the school. Talking about timelines is another method of visual resource, and these timelines are very effective while teaching history in the class, where the various important events can be sequenced according to the year or the time when it happened, and can be presented in the classroom, so the students can explore that and help them understand or learn the different events and can remember them very easily. Timelines not only used in history, it can be used across subjects. In science, we can use it as for various development processes, maybe say talking about the development of computers over these years can be presented beautifully with the help of timeline, or the development of microscopes over the years can be beautifully presented through timelines, or maybe evolution of species. So these are some of the examples that I'm taking. Timeline can be effectively used in a number of ways, And viewers, it is at your discretion, how you are going to use it to adopt this technique and use it in your classes. Timelines can also be used to, design activities. For example, through a timeline, we can always announce in the class when to start a particular project, how far we have to take this, when is the submission, when the gradings will be done, when it will be published, when it will be presented. Everything can be, presented beautifully through timelines. Even organizing exhibitions in the school, timeline can really help a teacher develop the various, activities, can sequence them properly, and we can have interconnected timelines also, which a teacher can use to implement a particular project in the school effectively. Now let us talk some of the classroom situations which we often come across in our day-to-day teaching life. Some of these situations that arises maybe in a science class, for example, while teaching photosynthesis, or maybe while teaching force or Newton's laws of motion or gravitation, or even in chemistry classes when we talk about the various chemicals or salts or various reactions. As teachers, we depend a lot on diagrams and models, which are nothing but visual resources. So visual resources help deliver a particular topic in an interesting way, in a more effective way, so that students can remember it for a long time. Science as a subject, we cannot imagine teaching science without charts or without models or without diagrams, etc. Then think of mathematics, teaching mathematics in the class. So maths is all not only about numbers, but it is also about shapes and figures. And when we talk about shapes and figures, there are two-dimensional shapes, there are three-dimensional shapes. For example, a teacher teaching the various shapes in class 5 or class 6 to deliver that particular subject, that particular topic in the class, diagrams, two-dimensional diagrams as well as three-dimensional diagrams can, make a huge difference in the understanding of a child in the class. For example, like as teacher, when we teach in the class, say for example, cone. We usually draw a cone on the board, which is a two-dimensional figure. Sometimes students fail to connect the diagram on the board and the real-life cone. So instead of a two-dimensional figure, the moment we show a three-dimensional cone, then the student can very easily connect his real life and the image which is being portrayed in the class. So choosing appropriate images also plays a very important role to transact a particular topic in the class. So as teacher, we should always choose appropriate diagrams or visual resource to deliver a particular lesson. In teaching language, teachers often build, a kind of imaginary world in the mind of a child through discussion, through storytelling. But if the same thing can also be presented with the help of a visual aid, the work becomes really simple for a teacher. Mind maps on a particular concept, maybe a difficult concept, break it down into its components and develop a mind map. The various illustrations can go a long way in teaching literature or a language in the class. When it comes to art and design, visual aids, visual resources, help us. We talk about mostly portfolios, galleries, and the various tutorials and demonstrations about a particular phenomenon or a particular style or a particular, the pattern that we use in the class. It can be through visual aids, visual resources. and they become really effective, or they become really impressive for a child, to capture the imagination through the various visual resources that are available. So viewers, in the next part, we are going to understand how we can import image, or how we can select an image from the internet, because nowadays any image that we want, we often resort to internet only. But there are issues which we need to address before we select a particular image for our class. So in the second part, we are going to discuss how we can effectively search a desired image for our class, and how to download that particular image, or use that particular image in the class. So viewers, see you in the second part.
Sound rolling, part 2, and action.
Welcome back. In this part, we are going to explore how we can select a particular image in the websites and use it for our classes. Viewers, many a times we choose images which are often copyrighted, or which has got inappropriate images we choose for the class. Particularly while developing content, e-content for the class, we sometimes make this mistake of choosing content which are usually copyrighted. So later on, we'll end up in trouble. So today we are going to explore how to choose images which has got no copyright, or these are free to use images. And we shall also learn how to use the advanced search tool to find out a particular image or desired image that we are looking for our classes. So for this, we are going to, I'll be using Google Chrome as the browser. And using Google Chrome, let us learn how to select a particular image for our class. So let us understand how, using Google Chrome, we find out the required image that we are looking for. So for this, you need to just open the Google Chrome browser. Towards the right hand side, you can see images. So we click at this image. So now the search engine is set for image search mode. And suppose I want to choose rock, say probably sedimentary rock. Okay. So I want a visual of sedimentary rock. So the moment I type the keywords for this image, the browser shows thousands of images. Now, from these thousands of images, we have to select the image that we are looking for. As I said, that these images, they come with copyrights. We cannot use all of them for free in our class because they have royalty issues. So let me show you, or let us understand how we can use advanced search option to select only those images which are free to use. And these images are, these are Creative Commons images. So we are going to choose that. So, well, viewers, in order to do so, you have to click here at the tools. So the moment we click at tools, as you can see here, some more menus have popped up here. So here we can choose the size of the image that we are looking for, whether we are looking for a very large image or medium sized image, or it is just icon size imaged. Because according to the requirement, we can choose appropriate size for a class. So suppose I want a medium sized image. So the moment I clicked medium, you must have observed that the result page has changed. Now it is showing those images which are of medium sizes. The next option is color option. So from here we can choose whether the image that we are looking for is going to be a colorful image or it is going to be a black and white image, or sometimes we face this problem while printing a document with an image on it. Sometimes background spoils the sport. I mean, it comes with a background and it doesn't match with the document. So many times we look for images which does not have a background. It is transparent completely. So that image will simply blend into the document. So that we can set here. So either if you are looking for black and white image, you can click here. If you want a transparent image, that means with the transparent background, we can click here. So now it will show images which has a transparent background. Then come to the third menu, which says usage right. Now here we'll have to set our filter at Creative Commons licenses. Now Creative Commons licenses are they're very much free to use, or almost free to use tools, images, which can be used without hesitation. Only thing is that we'll have to see some of these attributes. So let me set the filter at Creative Commons. And again, you will observe that the result screen has changed. Now, the browser is showing only those images which are patented by Creative Commons licenses. So from here, we can choose a particular image. Then the next menu is about type. What type of image we are looking for? Is it a clip art, or is it going to be a line drawing, or is it going to be a GIF file, or any type? So let me keep the filter at any type only. Then we can also select time, when this image was published. Is it published past 24 hours, or past week, or past month, or past 1 year? We can select that. Or we can also have a customer's range. Suppose sometimes we look for pictures from archives. So for this it's better to use customized range. So we have to really go back to, many years back. So it's better to use the customized range, custom range. And then we have another tool here called advanced search. So when I click at advanced search, so it takes me to this particular screen where we can set our preferences. So the first is all these words. These are the keywords that we have provided to the browser to search the image for us. So if you remember, I wrote sedimentary rock. This we can modify here. Then it will ask us some option that whether you are looking for exact keyword or all of the keywords together or part of it, all this. Then if you go down a little, you'll find the image size, which is showing here medium because we chose medium. Then the aspect ratio we can change from here. See, sometimes nowadays we talk about device compatibility. We need images for our computer screen. We need images for our phone screen. We need images for our televisions. So that aspect ratio we can choose from here. So whether it is going to be a tall or square or wide or panoramic, all this we can choose from here. All these options are provided here. Suppose I'm going to use a tall image. So I have already set my preference here. Then comes color. So as we chose transparent, so it is already highlighted transparent. Then we set it as any type of image, then region, then file format. From here we can choose the file format. So any format, or JPG or GIF or PNG or BMP files. So all these file formats we can choose from here. So let's go for JPG file. And then we click at usage right all. So that should be set at Creative Commons, and then we click at Advanced Search. Now the images, see the parameters that we provided, according to those parameters, images are not available. Probably we just need to change the size, or we go to Advanced Search again. So instead of aspect ratio tall, we set it as any aspect ratio and then do the search again. Yeah. So now the result screen showing me different types of sedimentary rocks. Now let's click at one of these window, and this is the image. Now, as you can see, the background is checkered. That means it's a transparent image. When this image is used in a document, in a text editor, so it will not come with its background. So only the image is going to come. So as a teacher, we can use it, handle it in a much better way. In the beginning, as I told you, that we should not be using images which are copyrighted. So as a teacher, we always have a question or doubt in our mind, how to check the copyright of a particular image. So as you can see here, at the bottom of the title of the image, images may be subject to copyright is mentioned here. And by the side, learn more key is provided. It is hyperlinked. So when we click, so it will try to describe the copyright of this particular image. So we can go through this document, and if you find that in the document it is mentioned, it is free to use for educational purposes or for sharing, then only we can select this image, or otherwise we discard this image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Tools again and choose the not filter. Yeah, okay. And then let me choose another image quickly. So for this sedimentary rocks, so it is commercial. So I'll be using the usage right only, which says Creative Commons. Yeah. So if I choose this image, yeah. So it is showing me an image with transparent background, and at the bottom you can see the license details. So we can click here to know the license of this particular image. So it's a Creative Commons license 3, attribution 3. So it is CC BY. That means when we use this image in our e-content or document, we just have to give credit to the creator of this image. That's it, and we can use it for our educational purposes. So like this, we can check the license of a particular image from here. So I hope, viewers, you have understood the process of selecting a particular image in a customized way using the advanced search tool. So in the next part again, we are going to discuss how to develop infographics quickly and effectively using a free tool for our students in the class. So viewers, in this part, we are going to explore how we can develop infographic using a FOSS tool and use it in a class. To develop infographic, today we are going to learn about a software called Canva. So this we can search very easily using the Chrome. So we are going to click at Google Chrome, open the browser, and in the search bar, we type Canva. And the result shows this is the software, this is the application. So we click at Canva. So once we click at the link Canva, this landing page opens. And here we need to log in to use it. So I click at login. So it will ask the login ID or Google ID that is already used in this computer. So with that we can continue, or you can choose other accounts also. So once we have selected the Google account, then it will take us to the workspace of Canva. Okay. So here, this is the landing page of Canva. As you can see, that this application allows us or help us to create documents, presentations, social media posts. We can also edit and create videos here. So our focus will be on infographic. So we'll choose from more option. So well, after we have logged in, we are looking for infographic to be developed using this software. So in the search bar at the top, we can type infographic and press enter. So we can use these popular templates to develop our own infographic for the class. So from these templates, we can choose a particular template and we can use it in the class. So let me choose this particular template. So as I clicked, this dialog box opens and it shows the details of this infographic design. So yes, I'm going to use this. So I have to just confirm this, customize this template. And it takes to me a new tab where all the edit facilities are available. So if I zoom these and try to show you, so this is a very interesting infographics design which can be used by a teacher to design maybe for announcement of a particular project in the class, or maybe the various stages of rock formation in a class, or any subject, even English. They can and the language teachers can use it to design it for the types of sentences maybe. So it can be used accordingly. The only thing is that we need to understand how to customize this infograph according to our requirement. So it has got the various elements, like it has got a title here at the heading. Then it has got images, it has got text box, it has got texts inside these boxes, which are all editable. So these images also can be replaced with the image that we want. So let me just change this title of this infograph. So in order to do so, we just have to click that area and this will be selected. After that, we just have to double click over the word and we can press the backspace from the keyboard and this word will vanish from there. And suppose we want to write types of rocks. So I'll just write types of rocks. So here, then I have changed the title of this infograph. Now let us change this next text box according to our requirement. So this business service, I'm going to, same process again, I am going to press backspace. And then here I'm going to write the types of rocks, maybe, or the types of rocks and their formation, probably. Okay. So I have changed the heading to formation. Then we come to the body of this infograph, where it is, where there are images, there are text box and text along with it. So these images we can change to, change with images of rocks here. So in order to do so, we have to search appropriate image from the internet. That image we can use it here. So I'm just opening another tab and just the previous process, image. So I'm just typing igneous rock. Okay, suppose I want to use this particular image from here. So I'll right click at this image, copy this image, go to Canva. This image we can paste it here. It is asking a confirmation that the image which is copied to the clipboard should be used here. So I have to just allow this. Yes, and the image has come here. So I can place this image over here, or we can delete the original one, and then we can bring the image of an igneous rock over here. Then we can size it accordingly. Then we can change the title from here. Let me just zoom this a little. Yes. So change this to igneous rock. So deleting the original text to be replaced by igneous rock. Okay. And then in the next text box we can write some of the features of igneous rocks. So same process again, we click this box, highlight all the text, remove it, and write the features of this rock one by one. Say number 1, it is formed from lava. Okay. Then suppose I want to write, it is very hard. So you see, viewers, this is how we can customize, modify an infograph. Okay. And then once we are done editing this, then we can publish this. And the process of publishing is very simple. We can just share this particular infograph across social media platforms, or we can get the link of this and paste it on a document which can be opened later on. So as you can see, after we are done working with this infograph, I have to click share, click at share button here, and then click at copy link. So as I click at this button, the link is already copied to clipboard. Now this link, now I can paste it in any document. It can be a text editor, or it can be pasted in the social media platforms across. And whoever has this link, when clicks that link, this infograph will open. So you see how easily, using the ready-made, the templates provided by Canva, we can design some of the interesting images for our classes. We can also create timelines for our classes. We can also create presentations for our classes using this particular tool. So, well, today we saw a glimpse of how Canva can be used. We have already planned an entire episode on how to develop infographics using Canva and Canva-like softwares. In our future episodes, we will have a dedicated, episode to how to use Canva and generate infographics, as well as we will also discuss about the various types of licensing for our artwork or for our e-content that we develop as a teacher for our students. So, well, viewers, for this episode, I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope it was informative for you. So now allow me to say bye to you. We shall meet in the next episode. Thank you so much.